Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Super excited about our guest today on the show. Someone just like you and I, going along life, just like any other day. A dad, involved in the masjid, has his kids, has a job, a business, but then decides, you know what? I want to make a difference. I want to make the world a better place in a different way. And so he wakes up and he ends up running for Congress. That's right. On the show today, Junaid Ahmed from Illinois, running for U.S. Congress, and he shares tips and advice on how each and every one of us can be civically engaged and civically involved, and why that's important in making the world a better place. Right now, Junaid Ahmed on the show. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Imam Abdulmalik, thank you for being on the show today.
Wa alaikum salam, and thank you, sir, for inviting me. It's always good to see you.
I had to, and before we kind of get into, what's fueling the change maker inside, I'm sure you're up to something big. Either you came out of a meeting or you're going into the meeting. Tell me what's happening big right now in your world.
Well, alhamdulillah, brother, I'm going to start with this. 4 years ago, when I ran for the mayor of New York City, I never ran because I thought I could win. I wanted to put the idea in the atmosphere that a Muslim could become the mayor. And what we're doing right now for the Women of Impact Ramadan Iftar celebration to host for the first time the largest iftar in American history for 20,000 guests free of charge. Our target is 70% non-Muslims and 30% Muslim. That we are acknowledging and celebrating the great people of New York in the spirit of our faith, who saw beyond the bigotry, the hatred, the lies, and the Islamophobia. And they rose to the occasion, recognizing the beauty and the majesty of our common humanity, and elected this wonderful brother to be the mayor of this beautiful city. So that's that for me.
Of course, mashallah, 20,000 people to
That's the goal,
iftar.
brother. That's the goal.
That's huge. That's amazing. One of my earliest awesome memories about, that helped reinforce a bit of my identity, feeling good in my skin, being a Muslim, was something you led in the 90s. My dad told me, "Hey, Tayyab, we're going to go to Disney." And I'm like, "Okay, cool." But he's like, "This time it's special." I'm like, "How come?" He goes, "Imam Abdulmalik is leading a group. And he's made an arrangement with Disney to have an Eid celebration there, and the park will be open just for Muslims." And I thought that was so special. Like, to this day, core memory in my brain. All of us loading up in buses, going to Disney, being together the whole time, and the whole park's closed except for us. And that sent an awesome message. And they gave a proclamation. The mayor gave a proclamation.
Yeah.
Just those core memories of, what, we are special, and we're part of American fabric. And thank you for always doing that. Like, what's fueling that? Like, what's behind that? What's happening?
I think it's a mixture of my passion and a mixture of craziness and my unshakable belief in the goodness and the kindness of the American people. Beyond
Mashallah.
America's foreign policies and some of the things that we may not like, that comes from the men and women in the gates of power. This is truly an amazing nation with an amazing people. And it's important to me that the Muslims recognize that we are part of the fabric of America and that we must do all that we can within our power to dream beyond the four walls of the masjid and schools and see ourselves as part of this nation and make our greatest contribution. And I got to share something with you that's really amazing. What happened was this idea came to me to have a Eid al-Adha celebration inside the Magic Kingdom. And one of the things that happened when the idea was put out, this is going to sound really strange, right? I was actually visited by two princes from Saudi Arabia. They came
Crazy.
downtown to the masjid and said, "We heard you're trying to organize a Eid celebration for Adha in the Magic Kingdom. And we want to introduce you to Saud bin Faisal, who's visiting Washington, D.C., so perhaps that they can support you financially." And something crazy happened. I ran into a gentleman who I would love to find. His name is Kevin Alverson. He was in charge at the Disney for Disney catering and special events. And I remember I said, "Kevin, listen, I need a letter on Disney's letterhead that says We're having the Eid al-Adha celebration inside the Magic Kingdom, a private event for our community and friends after the park closes. But I need it on your letterhead, and I don't have any money to give you towards the hundred and something $1,000. But I did come with two money orders from 7-Eleven, which was only $500, right? And he said,
Yeah.
Malik, you must be crazy. I said, no, please, Kevin, you got to help me. And literally, brother, he gave me the letter. I met the two princes. I met with King Saud bin Faisal in Washington, D.C., and the Saudi ambassador's office gave us a check. Because when they used to call my house, we would answer right from the house phone. Thank you for calling the Islamic celebration at Walt Disney. And they said, Malik, said, you got to work with me, baby. I believe in the magic of this mouse, you know? I
Yes,
believe
yes.
in the magic. And we met with Saud bin Faisal. He did give us a check. Dr. Anisa Ahmed and so many other Muslims in Florida supported us. And I remember that night, Disney gave us $40,000 in fireworks for free,
Yes, yes.
right? And they put out all the characters. And I'll tell you this, I look forward to doing that again. But right now, I really want to share the spirit and the beauty of the love that Muslims have for Allah and humanity and share the spirit of Ramadan with the great people of New York City, because this is a historical moment and it has
Yes.
future implications of what Muslims can do and can contribute to the greatness of our country, inshallah.
Yeah, no, thank you. You gave me some powerful pickups. One is you're really saying that American Muslims, we need to go beyond the four walls and we need to get out there and serve humanity and show love for humanity. I heard you say that Americans are great. I tell people all the time, Imam Malik, and you're my teacher, and you tell me if I'm saying it right or not. But I tell people, I say, hey, look, I look Pakistani, but I'm as American as apple pie and as Muslim as the five pillars. And I'm gonna get out there just like any other American and throw barbecue and serve and give it out to the community. And because I want people to know that yeah, I'm here not to just stay in my neighborhood, stay in my mosque, but I'm here to get out there and really serve society. And I learned that from you when you said it to all of us at Disney that day that we need to get out there and share that message. And I'm just so grateful that you're doing it again in New York. And, perhaps this is a message for everybody that we need to do more of these big things. So when you dream big like that, and, you know, it's almost like Allah made you connect with Kevin, made you connect with, the donors that supported, made that happen. What do you say to people who are dreaming big, but they're too scared to jump? Like, I feel like
If
that's a
they're
key
dreaming
ingredient.
big and they're scared to jump, they're not dreaming big. Because if you're dreaming big, you use fear as the fuel. You use you use fear as the fuel for your engine to get moving. And I gotta say this,
Mm.
as an American, you don't look Pakistani, you look American. What is looking American? What is looking American? It's not limited to the black and white experience anymore. That may
Mm.
have been true. It's not limited to the Native American or the indigenous or First Nation people. We are a product and part of the fabric of America. And
Mm.
America is transforming, and it is a change that is inevitable, it's undeniable, it's unstoppable. And no matter what anybody thinks, the Muslims are a permanent part of the fabric, not only of America, but of the world. And I would say to those who may be touched by fear, remember that fear is not the absence of having courage, is doing what you want to do, what you must do, what you know that is possible in spite of the fears that you may have. Because
Yes.
fear is not a negative thing. It has positive
No.
capabilities to reinforce your commitment if you just push through it or push beyond it, I should say. And I'll give you one example from the Quran to show you the human nature. When Musa was in the presence of Allah, one of the first things Allah said to Moses, La takhaf, don't be afraid. Imagine you afraid in the presence of the Most High, the
Yeah.
source of love, life, and provision. But yet he was afraid. Afraid of what? Of what he didn't know. So a lot of times
Yeah.
in America, Muslims are afraid of being rejected because we make the false assumption based upon the wickedness of media that we're not accepted. But the
Mm.
average American is not even thinking about you as a Muslim. They're seeing you for who you are. And
Yeah.
I got to tell you, brother, I was inspired to see the love and the excitement of the young people that elected Zoran Memdani to be the next mayor of this city. It was such an inspiration. And I have a lot of footage. And I've asked people why they even voted for him. You know, with you. You know what? And the number one reason people said they voted for Zoran?
What'd they say?
They said because of his commitment to the people of Gaza.
Wow. Wow. That
That's
is,
what they said. And you know, if you don't believe me, not that I use the media as a reference, but in this case, let's use it, right? The
yeah.
story is inside the New York Post.
Yeah.
So there's a new day, and we must
Yeah.
become the architects of a new blueprint and reach, as I always say, for the pen of destiny by Allah's grace, and let's write the next greatest chapter for our community as Muslim Americans contributing to the greater good of the American people. We have so many
Yeah.
gifts and so many talents, and we're beautiful
Yeah.
people, brother.
No, mashallah. And would you say that at the heart of it, Americans are about justice for all, truly, not just for Americans. Are also like what's driving that? Like, if people are saying for what he stood for the people of Gaza, then what they're saying is that what's happening to the people of Gaza is an injustice, and this is part of how we're practicing our American, obligation to vote and change that. Is that, what are your thoughts there?
Well, I think something amazing has happened. A lot of people see the negative aspects of social media, but social media is like any other institution or any other gift that God bestows upon humanity. You can use the knife to cut your food, or you can use the same knife to commit murder. It's what you do with it. I
Mm,
think social media has allowed people access to a level of power and sharing information that traditional controlled media outlets were not prepared for, didn't have a plan for. And this is the blowback of the freedom of people gathering intel and making a decision based upon the fact for themselves. I think the
mm,
footage that people have seen coming out of Gaza, the conflict of October 7th and all before that, and all the wars that are going on. I think the American people and the people of the world have seen
yeah,
with their own two eyes what cannot be denied. And
yeah,
therefore, they voted their consciousness because they know previously they were tricked, they were bamboozled, and they were deceived specifically in being indoctrinated into the idea that Islam and Muslims are the enemy, which is one of the greatest fabrications.
yeah.
So I think social media
So,
has made it possible for people to see the truth, and they voted their consciousness.
and so now, let's say you're out there right now, and you're living life like any other day. What advice do you have for every other Muslim out there who's on a nonprofit board, not engaged or not, as you're painting this picture of, American Muslims need to go serve humanity? What should be our playbook? What should we all be doing right now?
I think the greatest reference is the Quran and the life of Prophet Muhammad upon him. I think that each one of us should do some self assessment. For example,
Yeah,
let's do some inventory assessment. What are our
yeah,
gifts? What are our talents? What are our resources? What are our passions? And don't limit your vision to talking to Muslims or to people who you think are interested in being reversed to Islam. No, ask yourself, where can we help? What can we build? For example, one of the things that we can say is, you know what? We want to create within our community affordable housing. We want to create jobs. We want to hold classes on AI. We want to hold classes on civic engagement. We want to offer scholarships. We want to create space in our schools for non-Muslim children to attend. They don't have to be Muslim, but they get a great educational experience in an environment that is safe. I think we all have to ask ourselves, what are the gifts and talents that we have, and what can we do to be impactful in society? And it doesn't have to be limited to dealing with issues of poverty. That's good. If we want to help the homeless,
yeah,
that's great. If we want to help with people that are hungry, that's great. But that's not the only thing that we're here for. If we became multimillionaires and billionaires and created jobs and industry and housing and services, that in itself would be a great testimony to our commitment to the well being of the American people. So I think we need to get away from our limited vision of what it means to be actively involved in the Muslim community, because a lot of the behavior that we have is triggered by the press, and then we are not proactive but reactive. I think we got to rethink what it
Yeah.
means to be a citizen of this country, a citizen of the Muslim community, and where can you make your greatest contributions? I would like to see some of the young people get into creating like positive videos and positive games and become influence on social media platforms and establish positive, beautiful podcasts that address various issues that affect the lives of the American people, and and for sure share an Islamic perspective with them. But I don't think the objective should be strictly proselytizing. It should be that we serve humanity for the glory of Allah and let our works be the demonstration of our faith. But we
I
can
love
do it.
it.
We can do it.
I love it. I love it. Imam Abdulmalik, you inspired me even years ago to put this show on and to find this mission, which is, a belief that I have. I believe a world served by Muslims experiences Islam. And what I'm hearing you say is get out there and serve humanity, because this is the view, this is the purpose that we have. Do it for the sake of Allah. Let's not go out there and be, try to convert people. Let's go out there and just serve humanity, because that's the job.
Absolutely.
And what I'm hearing you say is use your superpower to serve humanity, and pick the cause you care about and go get it done. Imam Abdul Malik, Jazakumullah khairan. I'm gonna have to do a follow-up show with you after this iftar, after this amazing iftar, to find out what's
Well,
the next big thing that you're working on.
well, I'm going to tell
Inshallah.
you the next main thing so you'll know it in advance. It's not classified, but I'm going to look forward to running for the president of the United States. I actually got a letter that I'm going to share with the community from President Donald Trump. I wrote him a letter when he got elected on a few key things that I thought would be essential for the success of his presidency. And I wished him well. And I wrote
Yeah,
him another letter before he met with Mamdani. And I asked him in that letter
yeah.
to be kind, to be forgiven, and to think of the goodness and the endless potential of the people of New York City. And I haven't heard back from him, but I did see he was very kind and respectful to Zohran, and Zohran was very firm. So I think that we have to come out of the gate knowing that we can win. And I'm going to end with this. We have to remember that we were born, designed, and engineered to be winners. We did not come into this world to be people of defeat or to be those of conquered minds and a conquered spirit. So I say that the possibilities are endless, man. We got to dream and dream big and believe that it's more than
I
possible.
love it.
I'll reach out to you, brother,
Thank you
and
so much, Imam.
the family. Give the greetings to your father, who was always an amazing helper and a support of our cause.
Yes,
Inshallah,
for
keep
sure.
great work with Mercy Bread, and we look forward to talking to
And
you, brother. Inshallah, may Allah bless you.
Jazakumullah khairan. Thank you for being on the show
Ramadan,
today.
blessed Ramadan.
Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.